sakam laos blood people, blood this black country, lo discuss lo heavy blood this black country. Me plus scheme you lo you come up steer man blow me.
Honourable members, I have to inform the Parliament of the death on 11 April 2024 of Mr. Wangua Goye, a former member for the Kerawagi Open Electorate in the Second National Parliament from 1977 to 1982. As a mark of respect to the memory of the late honourable gentleman, I invite all honourable members to rise in their places. I thank the Parliament. Leader of the government business.
Mr. Speaker, I ask leave of the Parliament to move a motion without notice.
Is leave granted?
Aye.
Leave granted. Leader of government business.
Mr. Speaker, I move that so much of the standing orders be suspended as to prevent the Prime Minister presenting a statement to the Parliament relating to the landslide in Enga Province.
The question is that the motion be agreed to. Those in favour say aye.
Aye.
Those against say no. The ayes have it. Mr. Prime Minister.
Mr. Speaker, thank you very much for giving me this opportunity to address the country and speak to the People's House in respect to the disaster that has once again befallen our people. I rise with a heavy heart that the village of Yambali in the Mulitaka LLG is now no more. On the night of the 24th of May, our people in that village went to sleep for the last time, not knowing that they would breathe their last breath as they were sleeping peacefully. Nature, through a disastrous landslip, submerged or covered the village, and from our initial estimation, over 2,000 people would have perished in this disaster. Mr. Speaker, so on this note, I want to express on behalf of this Parliament, on behalf of the national government, and the rest of our people throughout the length and breadth of our country, from the autonomous region of Bougainville and to all the 21 provinces, our profound sympathy to the governor of Enga province, Grand Chief Sir Pide Baras, the leaders of Enga province, and the people of Enga province, for their kinsmen and kinswomen that perished in this landslide and landslip. Mr. Speaker, on this note, I want to also, in the same breath and token, express similar sympathies to people far and wide. I was given an opportunity to visit Chimbu province, Isipik province, and other parts of our country that face disasters lately, Mr. Speaker. In this year, we had extraordinary rainfall that has caused flooding in river areas, sea level rise in coastal areas, and landslips in few areas. For instance, we almost had the entire South Simbu, that access passage through the Gumini highway, that was completely cut for almost a month. We made intervention through national government support to the province, to the district, and through the works department, and the road has been opened. But nonetheless, disaster which caused not just economic loss, but lives of our people perished in those disasters. And this Parliament, through this short statement, recognized the loss of our people's life in the course of these disasters. Mr. Speaker, I want to inform this House that the national government will review our budget 2024. In our estimation, the cost of the disaster before the Yambali landslip cost hovered around 500 million kina. The cost of total real not simple in Mount William. They lost about 8 bridges. The cost of opening fully and redeveloping and reconstructing the South Cebu Road Corridor. The cost of ensuring that those in the Sepik Plain and the banks of mighty Sepik River are properly restored to a life that was before, if not better. We looked at the flooded areas of Western Province. We looked at the flooded areas of Gulf, West New Britain, Bougainville, the extended dry spells also in some areas in the easternmost part of Milne Bay. We have faced extraordinary weather patterns and changes from dryness to wetness. And I want to inform this House, Mr. Speaker, that the national government is taking a holistic review. Whilst relief funding has been released to those who have been affected earlier and immediate restoration, the greater restoration funding is being mobilized. And we're relooking at a reallocation, whether through Section 3 and 4 powers from the Finance and Treasury Ministry or a supplementary budget that may be presented in due course. So, Mr. Speaker, these are ways for us to try to assist our people who are facing these perversities right now. I want to also, for the people of Yambali, the Defense Minister is right now on the ground with the Enga Governor up in Enga Province to take full report from the Ega Provincial Administration. All provincial administrations right across our country in the face of disaster are asked to ensure you do assessments, work with the works engineers on the ground. Defence Force will come in where they can come in to ensure we fully cost out the loss and in the process establish what is the cost of restoration and reconstruction. But for the case of Yambali, we earlier, through the Defence Disaster Ministry, Defence Department and the Disaster Office, sent out 250,000 kina for food and immediate relief supply measure. At the moment, it's being distributed as I speak, but the fullest cost assessed will be considered, and we will get to work. Mind you, there's a complete cutoff of the road that feeds and leads into Pogra mine that is been in production. So we're also working with the company, the new Pogra Limited, to see how best we could mobilize support to reopen the road at the very earliest. Mr. Speaker, I want to, in conclusion, appreciate. I want to inform your House, your National Parliament, our People's House, that I have received call from far and wide. His Majesty, the King of our country, King Charles, has written to us expressing his profound sadness on the loss. I have received text messages and phone calls from the Australian government and Australian Prime Minister, New Zealand government and New Zealand Prime Minister. We have received message from the White House. We've received message from the Chinese leadership. I've received a direct call, a WhatsApp call from the French president. We received message from Japan and the Japanese government, India and India government, South Korea government, Indonesia and Indonesia government, the Pacific Island Nation Forum representing all our Pacific Island nations, Singapore government, New Zealand government, Malaysia government and Philippines government. And I want to place on record those countries and their governments that have sent in their condolences and well wishes as we speak. The Australia Defence Force and New Zealand Defence Force is mobilized to assist and work with our Defence Force in fullest relief, restoration and reconstruction to the loss that has taken place in Mulitaka LNG. It has affected not just the 2,000 lives that has passed, but over 10,000 people in the immediate precinct, but all in all, more than 60 to 70,000 people who live at the back of the Mulitaka LNG into the Pogra Payala LNG and the Pogra Payala electrics. So, Mr. Speaker, I want to conclude by saying there's nothing much we can do in the face of disaster. But the best response is a love, care, and assistance in restoration to those who are facing these problems and burdens right now. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Honourable Opposition Leader.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Before we talk, we like take note of paper Prime Minister presenting. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. One time Mipla pushing, we send our profound sympathies and condolences to the people affected in the Mulitaka LNG. We hear, Mr. Speaker, that there are more than 2,000 people who are affected or who were affected. In fact, they perished. Now, you may sabe, Mr. Speaker, the time disaster like come, disaster inosa talk sabe. I'm not talk or some tomorrow me come. Nature, tamem kisim cause blame, nature by kisim cause blame without forewarning or advice. Also, Mr. Speaker, time me sanaplo talk. Me like, first of all, on behalf of my family, on behalf of my tribesmen, my people of Kiriwira good enough, the people of Milimbe, me pla like Salim, Beryl Sore Blumipla, Golo, all people blame me where I'm affected more. Mr. Speaker, time this disaster come, na plenty or napla disaster been hitting country blaming in the past, in the recent past, na tete shows a great lesson, Mr. Speaker, of our unpreparedness in the country. It takes us more than 24 hours before we respond to disasters, Mr. Speaker. Now, plenty time inside Legislative House, you may talk or disasters. But today is another example of our unpreparedness time of people blaming affected with such need, such requirements. Lord, you may attend law, you may all leaders, it takes us a long time to respond. Also, Mr. Speaker, me not blaming government and responsibility blow house. And big blow responsibility blow house, whether you law government or me blow law portion, you may must put him over the difference blame me go down. Now put him one place, tintin tassel, law attend law people blame me. Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, plenty time you may budget. You may talk or some record budget. One time by me tintin law, set him aside some money. Set him aside some money by go law, this law all needs blow people blame. Time disaster hit him all people blame me, Mr. Speaker. This law money where I'm stop should kickstart a button straight away. Now public servants or people who are appointed can reach out to these funds and move immediately instead of waiting for us. Plenty time you may wait because NEC must work in this shit. Plenty time you may wait because minister responsible must make that decision. I think, Mr. Speaker, I'm tintin blomi. That time you may get disaster, the funds that are available must also me talk and must kick starting this green button. Also emergency come up. Signal must go out. Now you may run attend law people blame me. Mr. Speaker, very recently you may have him disaster been hitting Japan. Now you may have a modern country. Now they attended immediately to their people. You may look world around us, and it tells us that we must be geared up. Also, Mr. Speaker, as I come to conclusion, Prime Minister you Minister of Treasury, and Minister of Finance too. Yeah. This is power and responsibility of finding money. Ogara start me asking you from this side of the house. Immediately you may release him 250,000, but that is insufficient. That is insufficient. Very recently, thank you to the government, Mipla too received DSIP Blumipla. That's all, Mr. Speaker. Whilst money go law districts Blumipla, emergency needing money. Now you must put in money go legislate. Yes, you're correct, Prime Minister, when you said in Milimbe there was disaster. Disaster hitting Mipla, Lo Island, Blomier, and hitting Mipla, big platine. We had to attend to our people with supplies. Today, as I speak to you, our medical drugs are waiting at the pharmacies for us to airlift to the islands because disaster hitting Mipla. We must have a contingency plan, Mr. Speaker. And that contingency plan must be controlled by the public servants. You may not can politicize it. It must go to their responsibility. They take it, run to the disaster, and report back to us immediately. Report back to this house immediately. Not after a week, or after 2 weeks, or a month. Mr. Speaker, once again, Bell Blomi, the Bell Blomi opposition talk sorry, law people blame me on top, Loenga province. Now on behalf of the people, me like conveying condolence message from Plagolo, Dupla Governor, now members Loenga province. Also, we are son upon time, not then low needs, low people will need in these trying times. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, Honorable House. And tubla mani magim tubla side, Prime Minister magim half side, opposition leader magam tubla magim comment finish. Mi namel man mami tok tok pasembien mi gen lari bla tok tok odogai. So mami tok tok lo se namel man. Emon bla tok bila tokim aste ya, to sol mi holding back. Mi wedi bla na now to tell bla tokim. Prime Minister, opposition leader, all the members of Parliament, on behalf of Mr. Trump, I plan the time talk. Action speaks louder than words. You will like talk plan the law. Now, I am action now. There's a house here. House will 10 or 12 million, or how much million people will Papua New Guinea, where you me representing of Makimol Kamlo here. You must talk or you must action lo have long. You know lo have na when blame me. So what's I say? Me make him the slat talk. Tete the salig pilai marble blame me and by no ammonia. By me go out and half more people blame me past them. We can come back na pilai. Pilai na run away by stab yet. I'm straight up. Now, you know, I'm people something. So Tete ya. So was Kapman blame me, big Kapman no got money. Na yumi country mas kamane. Olgi money will finish lo yumi lo DSIP na PSIP. Yumi go na give him legally. After Tete because paper mix finish Tete tomorrow. Yumi kerap na yumi go all place lo yumi na go him decision na halbi mol wato ko yumi ada. Place kerap lo tok lo kam. Lo yumi na yumi sina oniet lo pilai. Yumi go na tingi mol people lo yumi pas. Yes. Behind yumi kam na go him desla pilai yumi like me. So I'm top me like talking me all members of Parliament. You may come, lo desala house, lo have lo people believe me or issue by pass one. No people believe me so have it. Yet you meeting him all legal when I'm believe me, na you may like put in the slack of pass, na like I'm behind. One time the flat, me ask him there with the Prime Minister, you shall not finish, you make him talk with you. But me yet also no see. Me like him talk sorry bro this la house. Tu igolong province loenga na district na people will exim have no this la time is start. Talk sorry. Thank you. Deputy Prime Minister.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I too stand on behalf of my people of Lae, my family, and I'm certain a lot of us, especially throughout the country, to offer my condolences. Iko lo line dumi, lo milutaka, LLG, na lo enga. Na wal sina lo big play vitru na bel dumi and big the sore tru lo mo plenty of line loose or leader, Governor Ipatas, Ogada or leader Blenga or people Blenga. I'm certain that each and every person in this room, and bless him, big talk sore straight. Iko lo yupla lo heavy bungim blessed. I agree with what the opposition leader has said. I agree with what the speaker has said. We should do a lot more action, especially in the space of environment damages. I would like to take this time also to say thank you, big thank you through NAPLA development partners, believe me, Australia, Israel, New Zealand, France, America, China, na plenty more. Ogada time also sana, lo taimi got heavy, oli sana ol ring, o se Prime Minister talk finish, ogada ring, talk, but no talk tasol, ol salim heavy assistance e companies. As we speak, the Australian High Commissioner himself is on a Spartan C-130 with our Defence Minister and Governor Ipatas going into Enga, assessing the situation, going there with relief supplies, as we sit here today in Parliament. Let us big thank you, Trulo. As we speak, the Americans yesterday informed us that they would assist with relief supplies, and they're already on the ground doing assessments. As we speak, our emergency and disaster has moved into action with our defense minister leading from the front. He is already in Enga sorting out this and giving us reports. I agree that we need to reallocate our budget to ensure that these disasters are catered for and our people looked after. This disaster, the climate change effects that we have now, is not just in Enga. For the last 2 months, we have seen unprecedented disaster throughout the country. Lo Olgada, West New Britain, Lo Sibik, Lo Simbu, Lo Ples Plomi Plate, Lo Morobetu, Antalo Bulolo, Antalo Makam, Lo Pichapen, Planti, Ebi Kama, Brisi Brook, Lo Ramu Highway, Roti Brook, Antalo Wau Bulolo, Bigla, Bagarapikam. But government, it talks to all people that Mipla reallocating a directing works minister to work as fast as possible, and they've reallocated 500 million from the current budget to start working on opening up access and accessibility to all these areas. And I commend the works minister for that tasking that he has done. I agree, we as government, on both sides of the house, all of us, need to actually sit down and ensure that we appropriate sufficiently for these disasters. And we'll face a lot more of these climate change effect disasters. Plenty more bakamir. Plenty time you miss talk, but these disasters, the mitigation of this climate change, we go on the World Forum and we talk. But a lot of our much more developed countries need to also look at less emissions to fix these disasters in the long term. And we must be prepared because it will still face us moving forward. Mr. Speaker, Miletok, thank you through Nami. Once again, passing big sorry straight line. And on behalf of the people of Lae, I've just been informed that a few companies in Lae have already contributed nearly $1 million kina and are ready to pass it on to the governor for Enga to assist us. As we speak, I would like to say thank you to our company, Blomilo Lae, or no Blomi, but our company, Blom people Lae. Before government talk and all that, Molsina no contributed 1 million kina na toksa finish lo me lo bami present him lo all people blowing through their governor. So one time this time, thank you, Mr. Speaker. Thanks.
Honorable Governor of West Britain.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Me too joining all colleague leaders lo talk sorry lo Governor Hipatas na member blow Ligam electorate on behalf of people of West Britain. Me talk sorry na big condolences lo all families lo this estimated 2,000 people. Me talk thank you to lo Prime Minister lo raising up this issue and I'm giving condolence message. Me like to thank you to lo Minister. Let me go lo visiting this place one time Governor, one time Australian High Commissioner lo checking first-hand information. Incident I come up finish now and 5 days I finish. Me work lo still wait lo giving major relief. Now me work lo reading to lo newspaper some kind disturbance lo relief efforts by some people. This la tu me must appeal. Also time 2,000 people die na you me no feeling sorry na all work lo trying lo some politics lo passing this la road M2 no straight. Now same time may I request also government Prime Minister lo declaring on 3 days mourning period with our national flags, throughout all our government buildings at half-mast in memory of all those estimated 2,000 people who perished in Enga. Now, me thank you to all the development partners, me ama maslari, Ulshem Australia, and give big support. All to come give him this big support time, Mount Ulawun, volcano erupt. Now to give him big support close to Ulshem over 500 million kina worth of relief goods. Now, thank you, Australia. Now, me, Arim Foreign Affairs Minister, Ulshem, give him 7 million. Me, look him news too, Ulshem, government of India put him $1 million US. So, me, thank you, all that New Zealand, all that Arab country, US, give him this support on behalf of government below me, opposition team. Now, suppose you mean like finding money, big plum money, you mean talk on Sam, you mean need him close to 500 million. Speaker, why not? You mean all agree now. You mean rouse him this 1 million law, SIP funds. Now same time you can give him 110 million kin. No. So you mean not die, suppose you mean cut him 1 million or 2 million. That immediately, gives that 110 or 220 million. So me like appeal to solo, you mean set aside one kind of politics now. You mean allowing this kind of assistance immediately go low, this place. Now always a challenge in seeking funding time disaster companies, you may wait close to 5 days, 1 month until warrant release now go now. By then, people am die finish now. Am this sorry belong all to finish. Now money, making big relief efforts. With that, Speaker, once again, I give my sincere condolences to the people of Enga province. Thank you and God bless all those perished souls.
Honorable Governor of Morobe.
Mr. Speaker, I rise this morning, join the Prime Minister and other honourable distinguished members who have spoken on the issue of the natural disaster which occurred in Muritaka area of the electorates of Laigam and Pogera. And I'm told that 2,000 people have perished, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I was in China a week ago. I was in the city of Zhongjing, and early in the morning I rise to see the CNN broadcast as the main news of this natural disaster in our country. I got shocked that I was in that country, in a different country, and the disaster of my country was announced. And I felt so sorry. The early next day I attended the conference that I was requested to attend, and it seemed that everyone saw the news and they passed the condolence, words of wisdom, words of sympathy to me to deliver to this honourable House, Mr. Speaker. And I so do word of sympathy and condolence from the city of Zhongjing and the government of Republic of China to this Parliament. Mr. Speaker, as a Moravian leader, I rise to represent all of the people of Morobe, about 1 million or just plus 1 million population, to deliver words of sympathy to our people of the Muritaka area who perished as a result of that disaster. This is, Mr. Speaker, natural disaster. It's not planned, it's not man-made, it's allowed by the nature, it's an act of God, Mr. Speaker. And therefore, we feel sorry and we will ask the God to give them the understanding. To the people of Muritaka area, those who perished and the relatives of those people who perished, who are surviving and feeling the pain, very deep pain. It's like a needle that goes through your skin and the pain that you receive. It's going through the relatives of those people who perished. And we are with you, the people of Morobe, we are with you, Mr. Speaker. We were the one, of course, some Catholics in 7 days they brought the gospel to the Angans, but the majority of the people we covered in the province of Anga were the Lutherans. From Ley, from Finschhafen, from Maniania, CRC, we deliver the gospel to our beloved ones in the Anga province. And they all remain our brothers and sisters. When they call me Khaim, I always feel very good deep in my heart. Brother, I feel deep. Because they're part of our people. It's like losing members of our family. And on behalf of the people of Morobe, through this Parliament, we send very deep condolences. Sorry talk, worry talk, bell pen talk, cry talk, Kolongol, Lolan Blimi, Lo Muritaka area of the Enga province. Honorable Governor, if you listen to me now, I'm with you in the sorry. I'm in the political prison now, at this point in time as I'm talking to you. Political prison, lawful one. And I shall come to the province very soon to deliver on behalf of the Morobe people, sharing the sympathy with you and what we're going to bring to you, meet you, the governor and your team, is a manifestation that we truly, really and truly are with you in your sorrow. Mr. Speaker, as soon as I'm discharged from the game, political prison, I should lead the Moravian team to the respective area. Mr. Speaker and Mr. Prime Minister, I thank you. This country is a country of mountains. This country is a country of ice seas. This country is a country of big rivers crossing land, making it difficult for people to cross. That is the nature of this country. This country's got the soil textiles very different. Mr. Speaker, you go to Simbu, all through Kundiawa town, Sinisini Yangamur, all those areas, the soil formation is very soft. You go to Morobe, soil formation of 1 to what? Markham area, right in the mountain, is the similar formation of soil as the Chimbu land. Therefore, there is landslides untimely happening, can split over the good constructed, highly expended money on the road, but it will take it through by the natural disaster. That's the kind of land that we have in this country. Mostly strong land, very strong land. That's why you can build a skyscraper. In Leh, you cannot build a skyscraper. In Kundiawa, you cannot build a skyscraper because of soil structure is very soft. Mr. Speaker, I want to appeal to the Prime Minister. There's no joke. No joke. We must address this issue. Similarly so for the high seas, which covered the Aitape people. Tsunami that covered the Aitape. 3,000 people were killed in 1997. That was a disaster in 1997. In the Salus area of Makam district, 200 people were covered in 1982 when I was at law school. They were covered. That's the nature of the formation of the land and the seas we've got and the rivers. Prime Minister, no joke, put money, and I support the argument or the submission by the member for Kidwin good enough, to put enough money that in the event, and have it readily available, that in the event that this disaster occurs, we don't have to go and look for money. We don't want to go look for money overseas, Australia, New Zealand. We must have the money because we're a gold country. We're oil country, we're a timber country, we're a fish country. It's a great shame when we are producing those things, and a great shame when the disaster strikes this country, and great shame that no money is made available to satisfy and to remedy those effects of those disasters. Mr. Speaker, Prime Minister, take note. Secondly, budget must be made available. Money must be appropriated. Every budget, money must be made available in the national appropriation to cater for this thing. No joke. You can't bargain with the life. When the life is taken, it's taken for good. You don't live twice. We only live once. Mr. Speaker, take it seriously. My tears is I believe Mr. Ukraine we will talk to. They will blame me will para stop we will talk to. Mr. Talk nothing. Mr. Speaker, we need a report to this country, this Parliament. We need a report, Parliament, Mr. Prime Minister. You have given your speech with due respect, and others have spoken. I've heard them, and I share the sentiments they expressed. But we need the report, facts and figures from that area to this Honourable Parliament. And Honourable Parliament must have the benefit of perusing that report and to decide what is the best appropriate steps we must take to help those people in need, in real need. Mr. Speaker, our people are very simple people. They're not millionaires. They're not billionaires. Are very simple people. But they bring us to this Parliament, Mr. Speaker. Time to vote by no asking people about him in come to Parliament. Time to vote by no asking on a peaceful and over and making you come to here.
Mr. Speaker.
Time to election, by looking people not try to vote by bringing you come to here.
Please.
Let's be real. Let's be fair. We must answer to those people who are the source of the mandate in this country. They're the source of the mandate. And we have to attend to them. We must do it. You cannot say that we don't have money. I hope that under Boglo Lugukia, you may pray long every day of year Parliament there. Pray long, sir. Now pray long go down that Boglo Luguna, you will get money to go. Put the money. Mr. Speaker. So Prime Minister, I'm sorry, I'm with you in your sentiment you expressed that we have to be real. And I want to tell this Parliament I will be delivering 500,000 to Henga on behalf of the people of Morobe. I will deliver to it physically myself and cry with them and give them that money. Paint my face in the Muritaka ground. Paint my face as my friends in the Simbush and the English and other islanders they do. And I will deliver to show them that not only me talking, but I am with them in that sympathy. But because sorry true, Mr. Speaker. Because sorry true.
Before me allow him Narabla Speaker Keno, beg him to Toblan to la talk sabet as all. All honourable members, number one. You may sabe you may get planning members you like making talk condolence or talk sorry online by me so. You may try and short him talk. Me sabe 20 minutes he allowed no standing order, but you may think him on that time leave me. I mean a long blood, but 12 o'clock you may get another business by me kirap. So short him talk with you. Number two, time all honourable members. Time one plus speaker. I'm senap na will talk so namelong na siya. You know can kirap walk about go outside or you come inside. No go front. I'm standing order no allow mesla. Unless emergency through you like bagrap okay. But no got them standing order no allow mesla. So now you may all get election up, but me looking member block sina young bull, and you go long. Horrible member will send up law in time so Milare me pastem bien me come to you narbla. Thank you. Horrible sina member block sina young bull.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Me like joining Prime Minister Bluyumi. Now, opposition leader Blomiplan are those speakers who've gone before me. Lo kisim mouse blon people lo sine yongumu. At the same time, Governor Blomiplan lo chimbu stop, but just in case no kisim time lo talk. Me like kisim mouse blon people lo simbu too. Now expressing sorry Blomipla. Condolences Blomipla. Igolol people blo Muritaka inside Loinga province. Lord display heavy on kissing. One black act of God, act of nature. Now 2,000 lives lost in an instant. Inside lo midnight, 12 o'clock lo midnight, where only silly. Now I know me one plus something land and landslide come down na karma pimolgata na sim life polgata. This la heavy and come up one time where you me or some political leaders plan this nation. Me play involved lo one plus constitutional process. Now attention lo me play stop lo this lab. Now me play lo thing also one plus kind accident by come up lo outline. Now emi come up. So suppose reaction lo government or reaction lo all of this political leadership lo Papua New Guinea meeting expectations lo people bring me lo place lo Muritaka enga Papua New Guinea me talk sorry Lord Isla. But now that you may all get aware, Lord Isla magnitude Lord Isla incident, it could also both sides Lord Isla house. You may all get a leadership. Government opposition, you must boom one time, stand up united, now go backside Lord people blow you me. Papua New Guinea by its nature and prone to natural disasters through landslides, floods, volcanoes, pandemics, kind something also may come. Now, too, as we speak, plenty of Papua New Guinea too, only one kind heavy also. But lives, and display accident, and we go past. And 2,000 plus lives only losing. One black kind heavy also may be come up back to 1998 inside Los Sisano, West Pacific, where 2,200 people, close to the same number, all losing life blow. And at that point in time also nearly 10,000 people were displaced as survivors. Now you may be sorry through lot this last time. Lot big plenty lives through also only lose. So now plenty years later you may go through many similar natural disasters, but you may lose in 2,000 lives inside of this house place. And plenty lives to us, all citizens of this country. So me looks away also all different world leaders, one time King of this country, King Charles, one time plenty all national leaders, neighbors, friends, all expressing sorry bloody companies, or showing support. Me talk thank you Lord, this is a show of support blow. Suppose all looking also me got one problem, me got one disaster. Enough way only can walk in this kind talk na so in this kind passing. Mr. Speaker, you me papa blow this heavy. You me must go pass. Na so in this plus sorry na so in law action blow me bla. You yet Mr. Speaker, you to you like looking action, losing tintin lo talk. So now you me government opposition, you me must boom one time. Na so in sorry blow me one time action. You go all people blow enga. You know, first time only got this heavy. Last year, Tasol only got Narpla man-made heavy. This I'm sit down yet. You may not solve him good yet. Only not sit down good yet. And then Narpla natural disaster may come up. So you may must show him support. Play me go people blow time all need him support. Play you me. You may must show him want him action. Me amu must lo talk blow Governor Wenge. Me amu must lo talk blow. Member blow Leina, Deputy Prime Minister bring me lo support well by giving. Me amamas lo talk blow Governor Mutuwell we have talk okay you me must show him sorry bring me too na declare him some public holiday. I think it sound right too. So that time you me declaring public holiday, Papua New Guinea by got opportunity. Lo so him sorry blow ligolo. All brother Susa blow usati lose him 2,000 man married. So I think you me lower in flag blow you me half mast one blood day. Now same day you me declaring public holiday. Now all Papua New Guinea citizens can walk in wheelbarrow push. Now we can walk in some coins like we did it for Sisano, Aitape, West Pacific Province in 1998. You me so same kind story passing. You got all family blow you me and up enga lo this blood time. So Prime Minister I come back to you think him this blood. Whether you declaring one public holiday or no, you give him chance, Lord. People bring me to Papua New Guinea. Lord, so him support. People bring me to Kenya. 2,000 lives and plenty too much. Now finally, come back to you one elected political leaders. You yet you got DSIP and PSIP staff. Now one level you yet you can afford to give in. You must give in, please. Same time where people blame me needed moral and fiscal support. Me no not make him number stuff you play plus budget level play plan. Please go back long budget plan. Find him some coins. Me too by me go back long DDA import blow me. Me find him some coins. You me all gonna make him also Martin. You can bring him enough money. Lord give him go to place. Lord can rebuild him life strong. So Mr. Speaker. Thank you, Lord, giving this opportunity. Come, Lord, people, Lord, Simbu. One day, people, Lord, Sinesene Yomumu, Lord, so him, sorry, Lord, this time inside of Parliament. Thank you.
You will apply the member is Senap, me raw simula no side and me camel se. Laga. Honorable member belong Yalebu Pangia.
Thank you to Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, me too, honorable member, this honorable house. Kalau saling tok sore bo online domino Yalebu Pangiana, online domino PNG party, honorable supporters ini. Go all families na. Of community, the province blowing on, over the line, simply big like inside the community. Now, me talk how much to the Prime Minister organization statement today. Any number of organization statement as state. Yes. Mitlaw ko totoo number lo yun na. Yung totoo ko, ang mas big illegal, ang mas open kan something illegal, you know. Bukan disla walk on man Mary Salem Yumilo display house lo. Kami alam mas terus yang speaker. You reminding Yumilo display responsibility. Lo display house lo Yumilo today lo display time you working intervention lo Yumi. 5 days ago finish now. Display disaster come up. Now lack of response from our public servants, our government, lo. Helping me go to the community law area where disaster come up is a big concern for us in this country, Mr. Speaker. Big concern.
You mean that point of order? Honorable Prime Minister, one point of order,
Mr. Speaker, I want to respect long, member of Yellow Pangia, and to lack of response. We like correct. Government respond right away, finish. Same time. Workman block national agency, go work on the provincial government. Or second finish. 250,000 go past him here 2 days ago, 3 days ago. Defense minister go come hunter finish. So if you're not going to play politics, kind of something. After you play clear, one of something is my best. Talk sorry, that's all. Don't try to come off floods. Politics when look time lo bell heavy na bell sorry. Play politics, they play politics basta. I'm like giving lo politics. Talk sorry, that's all. Me play government, play conscious about people. I'll be going to finish. One can say million golo simple finish. One can say million golo civic finish. If let us talk that's all. Make it work to sa goals. So please, talk to all people now. No can hide him politics inside the talk of you. Think it through, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, sometime Prime Minister must humble him immediately na aram totally. Me ang masok sa talking about reviving budget na
enough chair me make him lilik to first honorable member Yalebu Pang. Me like just remind him of the line of the members of parliament of this house. Tete this kind time in a time where him should him wrong or camp politics na this la. And time where also member of sina yang mulik talk you me all that. You must come on them to help people believe me. This is wrong now. You will experience me and people yet to come. Disaster. You may not make him get strong where immediately by law time have come up na. Intervene immediately by law. Experience the people yet to come up now. So you may all get now is irresponsible. So you may not can should him talk or come. You may talk him stop sorry na that you may back on them na helping people believe me. Country place ground will watching you me. Thank you. Honorable member Yalebu Pangia.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, me appreciate him intervention below you na talk Prime Minister too. Yeah, you play talk sorry. Sorry and good laws and you may okata sa feeling the sa disaster of one area below me too. Now, you also know leaders that go past law, crime law, Alvin Sudan law, Monday. But I also Minister of Defense go na. And you go look somewhere the area where disaster come up, let me plan must do. But only go today in the only waiting Australian Commissioner or organization Balus like go today the current will release supplies. Why not by new wait lo this old man lo come? You need Papa blow heavy, yeah? Every staff of community blow you. You know that man playing politics law this la.
Sampai time maring totok na working action pasti. Desla 500 million kina yung totok ya pasti tasong nibla on ibla sinan lo NEC. What does NEC address this issue na allocating funding na reallocating sambla priority not priority areas budget igolo alvin mo sinan bo Monday. And desla nibla totok ya on nabla countries woklo salim sambla relief na halili alvin muklo kam. True, Wokman very blaming one time, it looked plenty in the Sawe. So, Mr. Speaker, you know, time blaming playing politics, but let's talk. You mean, slowing down some of the talk, you mean, I'm going to big to talk, but let's get the actions right. So, Mr. Batin to talk law, member law, Sinesina. Don't know what the business of NEC, I'm just some money blaming the DSI, and give law line here. Why did you put in talk, na big house The people need immediate relief and assistance today. Suppose, you know, looking at the paper here, a man married like house of storm, what a man blow. Aren't you embarrassed that somebody from Australia is going to take their relief supplies and you go what I know? Me, Totok, me taking ownership, that's all something. You need time law, I'll be more line, blame or timely manner. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Me also be dog by me will come also now. Honorable Governor of Western Highlands. Then me come back, leave a have. Come also, Mola will have your bell minister.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Me talk thank you, Lord, you. Not to me talk thank you, long. All the leaders, blow you me. Prime Minister, Deputy Prime Minister, and all governors, ministers, members of parliament. Now, today I'm on an important day come up where plenty of people blow Papua New Guinea watching this last sitting now. Now, to the gallery now, we like plenty of family, blow you mean, plenty of leaders, or people they can start too. Mr. Speaker, me number one, me like to thank you. No, I stay. Papua New Guinea, me like got plenty politics come up here, but I stay. To you, say clearing plenty mind, not thinking on people of Papua New Guinea. Now make comment. Me talking to you.
Oh, good luck.
All the plenty. Newspaper man, Facebook, na kain telephone, lo making kain talk. Lo what of no conference na kain but I still you clearly thinking block plenty of line. I'm going to take you use number one. Okay, number two, me like talk people are sorry. Lord, this like disaster come up long. Anga province. Lo Muritaka, lo Pogra Pailan. This one the big disaster come up. Me like talk sorry lo governor long hanga na all leaders long hanga. Me like talk sorry lo member na all leaders lo hanga. Me block West Islands, me block talk big sorry. You say hanga and plenty of generations start lo Western Islands. Australia mibla start lo hagen na mibla start lo hanga tu antem. So me talk sorry through. And one the big disaster come up. Na yumi all the leaders. But yumi not taking politics lo disla. Disaster and come up anytime. Na I'm not talking you member, you governor, or I'm talking you prime minister too. Anytime disaster by team, me plan. So when they come up now and you me block, prepare now by you me ready. So me talk thank you, Prime Minister long. Some relief decision you making. Now me too like appeal or Prime Minister na NEC na government too. Look at some plenty of disaster will come up all the Tabla province. Lo Papua New Guinea na me like him, you me all provinces, this office below disaster, and now I'm coordinating long national government, but me like him, you me all provinces, always the disaster office, you must fund him too, you must get some money fund him. So that any time this disaster come up, me province and me start close to Trulo. At least carry up something. Look, Sabelo this na in case no good by you save some life too, and you may not carry up and come up this situation that come up. No Western Islands province. About 5 weeks ago now, Lord day, Lord 10 o'clock in the morning, ground and broken, all line family start no garden and folk line landslide passing, and all died. So all family and 5 men, all councillors, only quick time come look at me long, me find one excavator, water pump number long, rushing water so that ball bar, find all body. Now me buy one water pump one time, making 20,000 a top. You will try best long. At least house him now. Now only finding. Now another week, last weekend, Lord tumble. He got people landslide, Lord night, Lord morning, Lord 3 o'clock, and folk line 2, and mountain brook come down and pass him. Now everyone on a bigger mountain too. And the village got on a little mountain brook come down. So now you may room long. All the time of Papua disaster look also member facing you may now. So by you may prepare now. You may budget now by you may make one in the future. When I start the go finish and go finish, money die and die finish. You may not talk or saving on the life. So me talk some people plan a bridge to the Western Islands, one bridge long. They call Kitty High School now, one important bridge, access long. Province, they have one important province long, Western Islands province. Now, this bridge, Mother Bridge, I mean down. Now when people are they access long, all in time through. Because every disaster too causing slap. Now, plenty of bridge, all roads, the colonial time on. Papa has been making, now you got way and table and too now. All time you get quick, disaster and plenty of important infrastructure but collapse now. You remember one some levy too. So now when it's like time, you may need long, prepare too. So one time this me talk sorry to long leaders long hanger, middle of the Western Islands, and you say I can place long. Southern Islands, Ella, Enya, Chimbu, Joaka. Joaka province, one time Enya province, once upon a time took part of the Western Islands province. Now, lately, long 1970s, Enya Brugiko, long 2006, Joaka and Brugiko. Now, you mean Western Islands and province, Emi but still you be Papa belong all the islands provinces. Face no space below island province and Arkansas. Now me also regional government below you belong the leaders long islands. Now so me like talk sorry to long leaders loenga passing below midla outcry and me below line below Hagen Western Islands province of you below Lugumi talk. Passing below you may have carried sugar can na you go house cry by you make him so time me come back no province by you go house cry. Now I want to apok me also council of community na house cry and passing below me so when they want council below me no leaders long West Islands province by you go house cry. So me talk take you too long. Honorable Luther went here now you belong to the leaders so in passing. Talk sorry, lo yumi, lo henga, mibla Western Islands too, and mibla Star House Cry too. Olenga too Star House Cry too. So talk sorry, and me talk tenge lo iblo. God bless you.
Honorable Governor of Long Northern Province, yan mi kalau iblo, webla to.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I join my colleagues from both sides to offer my condolences on behalf of our people of Oro, of Ijitari, Kobandeta, and Sohe, in the event that their members here may not have the opportunity to speak. On behalf of Oro Province, we offer our condolences to the people of Enga, in particular the Molitaka LLG and the people of Laga. I won't say too much, given that there are a lot of others who wish to speak, but I want to just make a few suggestions, in addition to the suggestions already made by all members here who have spoken. Disasters affect everybody. For instance, in this instance, a Oro man lost his life as well. He was actually running back to save his 2 children when he was also killed in that disaster. He's working in Pokhara. I think, Prime Minister, what we can do through you, Mr. Speaker, is conduct an immediate evaluation of what happened and what is also about to happen, given that today we live in what is termed by geologists as the Anthropocene age, where mankind's activities affect the natural environment and their consequences, therefore. The Secretary General for the United Nations, 2023 in New York, coined the term global boiling in recognition of this reality. We as a nation must be cognizant of this and plan for this. In our province, for instance, we are building a provincial disaster center. And I recommend that all provinces would also have a provincial disaster center with district offices as well. We will need the assistance of the national government. We can reposition the defense force so that they can take charge of this activity. And they must be trained, equipped so that they can swiftly respond within 72 hours when a disaster takes place. As stated by other members, this is our disaster. We must be the first to respond and respond immediately. And this current situation gives us an opportunity to do an evaluation of our capabilities, capacities, what we can do, because there will be more disasters coming along. It's guaranteed. This also means that whenever we look at development projects, we have to take stock of their impact on the environment. Today, environment impact investigation studies are issued by companies that really don't conduct a proper, thorough evaluation of the impact of those activities on the natural environment. That's a fact. In our haste for development, we are rubber stamping these permits and licenses without consideration to the future and what will happen. We have to change this now. Our people's lives depend on this. I would also propose that we create a trust account where, as stated by Governor for West New Britain, we can allocate funding that stays in there and is permanently available. Not awaiting Form 11 to be signed or FF3s here or there, or this PEC or that NEC decision, but immediately when a disaster takes place, within 24 hours, we should be able to access those funds and a response team should be immediately dispatched to the disaster site. Relevant government departments need to carry out massive and significant awareness so that our people understand the importance of managing the environment. For instance, tree planting programs. For instance, when development activities are taking place in very sensitive areas, that companies are not carried away in their haste for profit and destroying the environment in such a way that it threatens the livelihoods of our people through these type of disasters. These are just some of the suggestions that I thought I would make, and I believe that the time is now for us to take stock of what has happened and use this to put in place proper policies, create laws that are necessary, and the mechanisms to be able to respond in a timely manner. Thank you.
Miligi lo over the election up to the Sorobla Mary Snaps of Biggie opportunity of Mousewell Mary, honorable member of the North Bougainville.
Mr. Speaker. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Thank you, Mr. Prime Minister. Me too, marking all people long North Bougainville, long Bougainville. Nami marking all mama lo party me patripla mama so start here in Parliament. Me like talk sorry lo family lo tripla man lo Bougainville. Usa tu I pass my lo this heavy. It's a member of me. Suppose you know clear, we'll have to find out. Usa tripla man lo Bougainville. Usa tu kisim heavy na pass my tu lo this heavy come up. Me like talk sorry long all mama long all pigini long all papa and all families to work in Bagara in service la people heavy come out long enga I know what it's like, I know what it feels like long you type lo pining pigini blow you man blow you relative blow you one clansman blow you sat go down like passing my it's la heavy me to thank you long government now decision long only bring up this level me can debate long and allow me mama to talk to it's the time me like to call some government got money lo make him this lo work lo have people lo when kind happen inside the country where heavy come up long me like him this the time opposition on them government or work one time lo question him whether he got money or not got you know what is asking by come up we have money inside the government. Time we put in title, no got this time, Mr. Speaker, me to thank you, guidance for you. I start ASTI coming up now. So me talk also, me no got plan to me working long end. Me talk so you all families, we'll have to identify where this la tupla pikini or tupla man, I pass my one have to le Bougainville come long end. By me appreciate him, suppose he got this la walk pine him out. I know at this time he got all man walking walk pine him out. How many people in Paris? We're saying it's 2,000, could be more than that. But a big play here. Long beginning, mama, family, only passing my ground, karma more, now you know looking more. It's painful. Lo you look is in beginning, now you get my now you cry, now you put him on the ground a couple of days later, and not feeling. Lo you know looking, family blow you, man blow you, and that I can feel time you looking, now you knock them around inside the ground. Thank you again, you giving me time, Mr. Speaker, walking really talk, talk sorry, long people lo enga, especially Lord Mama, lo enga. Now long darpla all people too that it facing same heavy, inside long darpla half of Papua New Guinea, me to mark Lord Mama inside of Bougainville, not inside of Papua New Guinea, me play talk sorry, long it's like heavy, he come up, me talk again. Government, you have him, government have him pennies, me like in opposition to work on them government. How you mean up to have him? You put him thinking one time, then you have more people playing me inside Loema province. Thank you, now goodbye, blessing. Thank you, Tomas.
All honorable members, me must talk savely me on some. There's a debate, me or talk, no debate, but talk long. Sorry, condolence for people bring me long. Enga by you may come back at 2 o'clock. I make him. He got business program at 12 o'clock. So, you know, ask him leader program business.
Mr. Speaker, I ask leave of Parliament to move a motion without notice.
Is leave granted? Leave granted. Leader program business.
Mr. Speaker, I move that Parliament take note of all expressions of condolences and sympathies and move that Parliament stand a minute of silence in respect to those who have lost their lives and that are in suffering.
Question is that the motion be agreed to. Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those against say no. The ayes have it. Me now asking Parliament the Yumi Soim Soren Rulu Yumi online you should have no listen. Me thank you, Parliament. Honourable members, me now me suspending Parliament lo lunch number you may come again no 2 o'clock afternoon.